My name is Elizabeth Galan, fourth year architecture student.
My name is Beatrice Acosta, fourth year architecture student.
Hi, I'm Taylor King, a fourth year architecture student, and we're Magnolias 3 Amigos.
The class did meet my expectations. We were able to work closely with our group along with our client. Being in Magnolia, we were going back and forth, looking at the site, being able to work with both a new building and an old building. So it was more challenging, but we were able to work through it in the end.
The class did meet my expectations also. There was a lot of work to do, but I think we came together as a team and did good work at the end.
Yeah, the class met my expectations as well. I wasn't quite expecting to do as much work. I didn't think we were going to have to stay up, every night for the last week, but I wasn't also expecting to have to travel to Magnolia. I guess whenever I went into the project, I was thinking that maybe the first 2 days we would have to go, we would measure stuff, but we pretty much spent the first week going back and forth. And as far as dealing with the client, it was pretty fun. He liked our work, but I guess in the long run, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I was unable to make baking sauce. I was unable to make it to the exhibit.
I enjoyed the exhibit. I think we all learned a lot from actually presenting what we had worked on for so long to the clients and to people visiting from both Macomb and Magnolia.
The exhibit was a lot of fun. It was much different than the presentations that we have to do in, I guess, the regular studio projects. This one was more of a gallery, and it was more people from the community than we're used to, so we had to engage with other people and talk more to strangers, I guess, about the project. But our client came and he really liked it, so that was very positive towards the end. It seemed like everyone else really liked it as well, so I guess overall it was a pretty successful project.
Well, last studio, Marsha had kind of introduced us to working with clients, but most of the time during the semester you also have other classes to worry about, and for this we were solely focused on this one project working with one client. And it was different also because we were working in a team and only each individual is working on their project. But it was a good learning opportunity to work in a team like it would be in a normal office and work with a client and put his expectations before yours.
The first part of our workload I think was very different from studio because we actually got to work with the client at an architect's office. But as far as the second part, it was pretty similar other than the fact that we spent the whole day in studio rather than just like the 4 hours during the week.
This project was pretty similar to studio projects in the fact of how we're, I guess, introduced to the project. We had to do more groundwork, more field work for this project, but as far as the presentation and what do we actually have to produce at the end with a model and drawings and renders, it was pretty similar. I guess I wasn't used to the speed of this project. Usually the first few weeks kind of take my time, don't really do much. But then this one was pretty much everything had to be done in the first 3 weeks. So it was much different pace. And also this one we worked with a group. The group was fun. Hopefully these two lovely ladies don't hate me because I know I was kind of mean sometimes. They were mean to me, but we're still friends, so I guess it's okay. So go Magnolias!
Some of the most challenging parts of the project were putting what your client wanted in front of what you wanted, also time. We had a very large-scale project, and being able to organize everything into the time frame that we needed to was very difficult and challenging. We had some frustrations at the beginning because it was different from all the other projects that the other teams had, so it was harder for us to talk about it and work with Marsha and Frank about it.
The hardest part for me was as well the scale of the project and the time we had to execute the design, and also the limited times we could actually meet with our client because he was so busy most of the time. So as far as being difficult, I think the time versus the scale of the project was what really got to us.
I would say the most challenging part of this project was the pace and also working with, I guess, a client and a team. I'm not used to working for just in 3 weeks, and also, all the other projects, they were able to go to the library and get floor plans because they already had existing buildings, whereas our project was more from the ground up, and our client kind of wanted us to design something that looked New Orleans style, and so we're not really used to designing, I guess, projects to make it look like that. We usually design for ourselves instead of with the idea of a client in mind, so it was much different than what we're used to.
I think working with a client, we're able to understand that we serve a need, and as architects, and for that reason we have to be able to pinpoint exactly what the client wants and then transfer that to what works and what will help them out in the long run, create revenue, expand the city and the community. So that's one of the things that was a little more difficult, but something that we'll have to be able to use for a future.
I completely agree with what she's saying, because it's really hard to put the client's needs first when we're so used to putting our needs first.
Working with a client was different than what we're used to in school. He had specific wants and goals for the project, and he knows the opportunity of the site that he owns. He wants basically the site to become the center of downtown, and so we had to basically put his wants and his economic desires and just his opinion, I guess, in front of ours, and so it's hard to get all three of us to agree on some things, but in the end it worked out.
I think getting to know everybody that we got to live with was pretty fun. We didn't know I didn't know some of the second years, as well as we got to know them, and they're a pretty fun group. All the food, we got to eat a lot, and it was really good. It was really good food, and just the way that the community opened up their homes so that we could come visit and be there with them.
I like that we got to meet people from our school that we didn't previously know, as well as people from the community, and they were very welcoming and very nice. And also seeing the small town mechanics of it all, and actually getting to see and learn about old buildings that we wouldn't actually know about otherwise.
My favorite part was definitely going to work 8 to 5 every day. The journals at the end of the day were a lot of fun.
A blast.
No, but for real, just meeting people and the food. I guess I didn't really know half the people before coming to the workshop the second years, and then that old kid who's a grade above us, he was a pretty cool guy, I guess.
So weird.
But the food was pretty good. The creek day was really awesome. We got to experience things that we normally wouldn't get to if we were just in a regular studio class. So it added a lot to the experience, and I would definitely do it again. See you guys. Out.
Bye.
No one's gonna watch these anyway.
Jeremy, why are you laughing?
Because it's funny, because I'm like way up here with Elizabeth, and I'm like,
I'm not supposed to read it.